Hello, this is Tomoaki Murakami from Macromail, and
Hi everyone, this is Noriko Kishida from Cross Marketing in Japan.
we are both members of Online Survey Quality Committee of JMRA, Japan Marketing Research Association. We'd like to share how we tackle online survey quality issues in Japan and JMRA's online survey quality guidelines. Today, we are going to talk about the following contents. First, JMRA Online Survey Quality Committee and its activities. JMRA Online Survey Quality Committee was launched with 5 major online survey providers in Japan in 2016 to discuss common issues for improving the quality of online surveys. The committee contributed articles and the current status and issues of online survey to the Journal of JMRA. Also, we joined an academic conference, the Behavioral Metrics Society, and organized a round discussion with academic researchers in the field of statistics and research method this summer.
The issues of online survey in Japan. First of all, I would like to present the history and issues of online surveys in Japan. Online surveys started around the year 2000 and quickly increased in use. They now represent almost half of all ad hoc survey sales in Japan. It is said that they make almost 70 to 80% of all survey projects. Smartphone use has increased rapidly in Japan as in other developed countries. Based on the data from the Ministry of Internal Affairs and Communications, the average time spent on smartphones has become longer than that with PCs. This graph shows the change in rates of smartphone use when responding to online surveys by age group in chronological order. Smartphone response is increasing gradually, and over 80% of younger generation answered by smartphone. On the other hand, seniors still use PCs mainly. To get responses from all generations, multi-device design is necessary. This data is the average value of 5 firms in the committee, and the total of all age. The graph on the left shows the devices used for and for PC. As you can see, smartphones represent the majority of new respondents. The device used for the first time registration is thought to be close to the actual devices used by the people usually use. The graph on the right shows the devices used in online surveys. It shows the fact that present surveys are not suited for mobiles. Measures for maximizing mobiles are needed. The biggest issue in the committee is that long surveys, grid, and smartphone unfriendly questionnaires damage the access panel and data quality. The inactivity of access panels is increasing. Acquiring and keeping younger generations in the access panel is becoming difficult. Amount of time people are willing to spend for answering a survey is becoming shorter in both PCs and mobiles. Grid questions cause high dropout rates. Data quality is decreasing. For example, responses in multiple answer questions are declining, and more people don't read the questions. Data cleaning is possible, but it will not solve the problems. Why is it so difficult to change to mobile optimized surveys? We often hear the following reasons. For research firms, researchers do not mind the issues regarding surveys as long as their projects can collect answers. It is difficult to change the rules since prices are based on PC-based online surveys. For research clients do not want to change the questionnaires. They are afraid of change in data and inability to match the results from the past. Taking surveys used as norms make it difficult to change the questionnaires. Research companies and clients tend to think it is inconvenient to change to mobile optimized surveys. So, efforts from whole stakeholders in the research industry are necessary. There are 3 specific factors in Japan. Feature 1. Most of online survey providers in Japan have a large-scale access panels and that consist of over 1 million panels with rich databases. This is one of the reasons why microsurveys and reverse samplings are not popular in Japan. Feature 2. Survey costs and incentives for the respondents are low. Incentive is based on the number of questions, not the length of the time to answer. It is easy to order for the clients. However, a whole grid question or an open-ended question is also counted as one question. It is difficult to increase the price once a low price is established. Feature 3. Japanese language can be placed both vertically and horizontally. This causes huge grid questions. We share the information through the activities of the JMRA Online Survey Quality Committee. Here are some examples. Those who would like to answer the survey for over 10 minutes are only 20%. Nearly half of PC and smartphone users answered that they would accept to answer the survey for 5 minutes or less. We have to consider and change the survey designs. The data of PC users and smartphone users have different tendencies. We can say the data should be taken from both PC and smartphone users to avoid coverage bias. This graph is an example of brand awareness of non-sugar teas. Regarding the different tendencies between PC and smartphone users, for example, smartphone users have higher scores than PC users in questions such as information contact rates, such as TV and outdoor ads, brand awareness, sociability, sports, especially those group-oriented. Surveys using only one device have a risk of leading to incorrect conclusions. We can see that huge grid question cause many respondents to drop out. This graph shows the dropout rate in the questionnaire. In question 9, which is a large grid question, respondents showed high dropout rates, especially among smartphone users. This is a result of comparison when we used long expressions and short concise expressions for the questions. There are no differences in results. To realize mobile maximized surveys, we will have to encourage all research planners to consider more concise questions. It's time to think. It is not easy to change the current survey style because of the legacy of PC-based online surveys. However, around the world, most internet access will be mobile in the future. It's an inevitable trend.
The draft of the online survey quality guidelines. Through such activities, the JMRA Online Survey and Online Quality Committee discussed common quality issues beyond the interest of individual companies. Now, JMRA is working on making online survey quality guidelines. The guideline will have no compelling power. However, we would like to share the direction of the road ahead with the whole industry, including clients. The guideline consists of the following 3 parts. Part 1, caring about the respondent. Part 2, reducing respondent stress. Part 3, making online survey fit our current trends. Part 1, caring for respondents. First of all, we would like to care for respondents. This is not just about maintaining our access panel, but about thinking of the people who enter the data. We believe this is the most important because research planner behavior would not change. unless we started from the idea that questionnaire is a means of communication. In this part, we have 3 points to care respondents. 1. Be aware respondents' cooperation is essential. Online survey data cannot exist without responses from respondents. We have a risk to lose respondents due to bad experiences through the surveys. All researchers should care about respondent experience. They are not data, but people. 2. Make sure to protect the respondent's privacy. 3. Give appropriate incentives based on their efforts. Part 2. Reducing respondents' stress. In this part, we have 4 points to reduce respondent stress. 1. Survey length should be within 10 minutes. 2. Don't use huge grid. Don't overuse grid or open-ended questions. 4. Don't ask too many non-screening questions in the screener. Making online surveys fit our current trends. We must steer the survey design and questionnaires from asking everything to communicating. We need to imagine we are in a dialogue with respondents using a questionnaire. In this part, we have 5 points. 1. Device-free design by maximizing mobile. 2. Consider lifestyle changes of respondents. 3. Consider the communication style of respondents. 4. Simple and concise expression for questions and choices are necessary. 5. Check how it looks in the smartphone. This guideline is not yet formal, so we will formulate the online survey quality guideline after receiving public comments and authorization from the board of JMRA. The contents of the guideline are simple. However, it is important to share the problem with stakeholders and encourage them to take the action. We will announce and share the guideline at the JMRA annual conference next month. Awareness campaign for all research users and planners. We will continue to share the information with all research stakeholders and discuss the survey design with clients in actual project. Last page, expansion of our activities. We are expanding our activities, involving other research agencies to tackle the common issues for the quality of online survey together. We hope that the guideline will increase interest among clients and research industry, and that online survey will become more sustainable and fit to our current trend, whereas a device-free environment by maximizing mobile. That's all. Thank you very much.